My first introduction to TEGG was over 10 years ago when I was working for a major investment bank in the City of London. We was looking to test on our critical kit after a major project and trying to minimise the downtime. So we looked at all operations. Our own electrical safety rules for the large company that I worked for at the time didn't allow us to test live, even with thermography and ultrasound equipment. So therefore I was introduced to TEGG, and from then on obviously we used them throughout the process of that contract and still using them today, even though I'm not based at that investment bank. It's the professional manner and the way which TEGG carries out the operation, and certainly minimising the risk and minimising the downtime to the bank to be able to test anything that we've got a concern with. The TEGG service allows us to place one order and cover thermography testing, ultrasound, ultrasonics, power quality analysis, all under one umbrella with the same team. This allows the team to give us accurate results. It gives us one point of contact to go to, and obviously in that process all the risk is covered by one contractor, and it allows us to build into any change requests that we need one specific risk assessment and method statement for one section of the works per time. The TEGG system, when you watch the team in operation, it allows us to, as the testing is being carried out live and under normal load conditions, it allows the team at Metropolitan TEGG to relay any major concerns. They'll always either radio or telephone you if they have a concern, and you're available at the point to be able to analyse the result you see at the time. Obviously this is all done within the guidance of the risk assessment and method statement, and therefore you feel like you're working safely with a team at all times. I've continued to use TEGG since the first introduction, around about 10 years back now. I've used them in the investment bank where I initially started in the City of London. I've also used them on large real estate premises, in particular an iconic skyscraper in the centre of London, which also had data centres and high profile tenanted areas where with lawyers based there, with actually minimum downtime to be able to analyse thermal imaging and ultrasonic testing, and to allow us to be able to carry out the FET. It was particularly difficult there because we had numerous tenants in a multi-tenanted building, and therefore to allow for a weekend shutdown needed sign off from a number of tenants at the time. So therefore we went back and showed the system to the tenants, and also showed the results process after to allow them to see what exactly is done under the normal load conditions. The key benefits is the historical data that the TEGG results provide. It's based on a web-based and a central database. It allows us to demonstrate to our customer at the time the results. It also is a high level and high technology level of testing, where you capture everything under one umbrella at the time, and therefore you can use one contractor to do that rather than separating that out across the period of time. Also for programming and working with the same contractor, particularly in the shutdown period, it allows us to use a site team we're really familiar with, and a site team who's professional and as technically competent as TEGG are. We get particularly good support from the management team at TEGG on when the report is issued, and at any point during the testing if they have a concern. Previous to using TEGG, we would have used a basic thermal image camera, maybe amongst the site team or maybe an outside contractor, and also fixed electrical testing. As most people are aware these days, fixed electrical testing is pretty intrusive, and there's many times in the year where you plan to do that testing and at the point of testing the shutdown window's cancelled for you. This allows us to use the TEGG testing and analyse and focus in on any particular hotspots or any really concerns from the ultrasonic testing, so we can really pinpoint where we need to be on them weekend shutdowns and allow us to build a program in advance of what we should be concentrating on as urgent business risk or health and safety risk. Yes, undoubtedly the testing that TEGG does allows us to remove the panels on critical LV panels, to focus in on HV to LV transformers, onto static switches, and on many occasions we've been able to intercept and focus in on a point which has raised concern. It allows us also to change our program of works and maybe concentrate and build extra PPM regimes into a point where it's been highlighted a hotspot or a sign of degradation in the system, and to allow us to improve our frequency of testing in conjunction with TEGG. Most definitely I would recommend TEGG to others. Like I say, I've been using the system for around about the 10-year mark, and in each building I go to, I'm certainly encourage the business or the operation that I'm working within to use TEGG. It's always been a very good, very informative system, and the key points I really like is everything's saved on that web-based system, so you've got a full historical data of any points previous. That's also much easier as an engineering manager to come into a building and to be able to find that database than to do what I've had to do previously to using TEGG, where I look through many folders and documents to find out hard copies of systems and reports of analysis. The TEGG system on the database allows you to really focus in on the key points. Very user friendly not only to the management team but also to the engineering team that you're often managing.